Hello guys, in our lesson today, I'm gonna explain how to use different structures to state preference. So let's go. Let's see how to use different expressions to talk about your preference. The first expression that we're gonna see today is the expression it's time. It's time I did something. We use this expression when we want to say that we should have done something already, or at least started. So the form is it's time plus the subject plus the past tense or the simple past. Examples. It's time you did your homework. That means that you should have started already your homework. It's time we went home. That means that we should have already gone home. It's time they broke up. They weren't happy together. Okay? So notice that I'm using it's time plus the subject pronoun and the simple past form of the verbs. Okay? That's simple. Let's see another expression. I'd rather, or I would rather, if you prefer. So I'd rather you did something or you didn't do something. It's used when we want to say what we would prefer someone else to do. Okay, that's very important. Okay, I'm gonna use I'd rather plus an object, the person, and the past tense when I want to say what I would prefer this person to do. Okay? For example, I'd rather you didn't smoke in here. Teachers would rather students did their homework. Would rather you didn't go. Okay, that's very important to understand. We use this form, subject, would rather, or the person that we want to do something, and the past tense. Okay. Let's see another form with I'd rather. Now, I'd rather do or not do something. It's used to talk about what I'd prefer to do. Okay. Not another person. What I prefer to do. So the form is a little bit different. We use the subject, in the case I, would rather, and the verb, or the contraction as we can see here. So I'd rather not spend all day lying on the beach. So that means that I prefer not spend all my day lying on the beach. Okay? I'd rather in this case, it's similar to I prefer. Okay? He'd rather not see me. Okay? Or he prefer not to see me. What would you rather watch? It's similar to what do you prefer to watch? Okay? So the main difference between these structures is the first one that we saw, I'd rather you did or didn't do something, or this form here, it's used when I want to say what I would another person or what I prefer another person to do. Okay? This form here, it's used when I want to say or to talk about what I prefer to do. Okay? That must be clear. Another expression that we can use is I'd better or I had better. Okay? So I'd better do or I'd better not to do something. It's used to talk about something when it's advisable to do in the present or in the future. basically when I want to say that something is a good idea, okay? So the form is the subject plus had better or the contraction and the verb on the base form. So I'd better fix the window as soon as I can. She'd better start studying or she won't pass. It's 5 o'clock. I'd better go now before the traffic gets too bad. You'd better not tell Elizabeth about the broken glass. She'll go crazy. Here, guys, maybe you're thinking about should. We use should when we want to talk about something that we think it's a good idea or to make suggestions. What's the main difference between had better and should? The difference is I use had better. I use had better when I want to give the idea that if this person don't do this, something bad may happen. So the person will face a bad consequence of not doing something. Okay? And should is just to give a suggestion, advice, okay? But with no bad consequences involved in the situation, okay? So had better is a stronger advice, okay? So I use had better when I want to talk about something that is advisable in the present or the future, because I think that if this person don't do this person will have to face something bad or bad consequence, okay? Let's see now the difference between had better and would rather. We don't use had better when we talk about preferences. To talk about preferences, we use would rather. Okay, let's compare here. I'd better get a taxi. The buses are so slow. That means that it's a good idea or better, advisable to get a taxi. When I want to say that I prefer to give preference or to state preference, I say I'd rather get a taxi. I don't like buses. That means that I prefer to get a taxi. Okay, it's my preference. Okay, so the main difference between had better and would rather is this. Had better we use when we want to talk about something that is advisable, something that is a good idea, and would rather to talk about preference. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions, please send me a message. See you next time. Bye-bye.